We weren't looking for any kind of trouble, just a place to kill some time. I'm a college student, and last summer I wanted to get out and do some exploring. I'm from a rural area surrounded by mountains, forests, and an old abandoned mine. A truly quiet area, forgotten to time as the world has rushed into the 21st century. There's no internet, no cell service, and not many people, especially after several hikers and tourists started going missing several years back. It's home, isolated, beautiful. I always go back for summer, and after a tough year in college, I was looking forward to it, this time bringing some friends along. There was Dawn, the charismatic class clown that I met in my first year of college and was friends with ever since. There's Mike. He was shy, but very intelligent and was always there for you if you needed help. Last but not least, there was Julian. He was loud, obnoxious, and completely fearless. Never a dull moment with him around. We decided to go for a hike on some trails. The views were spectacular. Crystal clear skies with snow-capped mountains in the distance. The forest was lush, with thick trees and shrubs. On our travels, we found a small offshoot trail. "Where do you think this goes?" Don snarked. I wasn't sure. This was a new trail to me. "Some kind of game trail?" Mike questioned. "Maybe," I reasoned. Julian started walking down it. "Let's see where it goes," he said to the rest of us. We soon started to see some freaky things. Bones of animals were scattered around the trail, thrown about as if something was in a rage. Then we started seeing signs on the trees. One read "Danger, no trespassing." Another one was an old mine sign with a spray-painted warning that read "Predators in the area." Mike was visibly concerned and grimaced. "Why don't we go back? Something is off here." Julian snarked back. "Bullshit, chicken. Let's see where this leads." The rest of us followed him despite Mike's protests. Further up the trail, we seen the entrance to an old abandoned mine, covered with plywood, spray painted. "Keep out, condemned," written all over it. There was a hole big enough for someone to crawl through on the bottom. "Get in there, Dawn," Julian said with a massive smirk on his face. "You first, buffoon," he countered. Mike, looking pale as a ghost, pointed towards the way we came and said, "I think I saw an animal out there." "Did you or didn't you?" Dawn said while laughing. Mike wasn't sure. Julian decided he was going to go in. He turned his cell phone flashlight on and peeked inside. "It looks like someone has been living in here," he shouted enthusiastically. He crawled through the hole. "Guys, get in here. This is so cool," he exclaimed. Despite our better judgment, we followed him in. Inside there was remnants of a camp, with a hammock set up, pots and pans. There was some old mining equipment screwing about, and other things. It was quite dark. Only light we had was our cell phone lights, which were dog shit to be frank. As we journeyed further into the cave, it became quite dank and damp. We heard noises coming from deep within. It was eerie. "Might be bats or something like that," Mike remarked. The tunnel branched, and so we decided to split up in groups of two. I went with Mike, and the other two took the other tunnel. A little ways into the offshoot, Mike dropped his phone and the flashlight broke, so it was only down to mine. "Maybe we should go back," Mike wheezed. He was visibly frightened. Just then, we heard blood-curdling screams echoing through the walls. We didn't move. In the distance, we can hear Dawn and Julian screaming, "Help us! Help us!" I could tell something horrible was happening. We heard footsteps running in the other branch. We made our way back to where we had split up earlier. Just then, we saw Julian limping over, covered in blood. Under breath, he said, Something got him." "What? What do you mean, something? Are you guys okay?" I pointed my light down the cave, and there stood an abomination. A pale, scrawny man hunched over, covered in blood. His eyes glowed like a cat's in the darkness. Mike screamed. It leapt onto Julian's back and sunk its jaws into his neck with an unholy fury. Blood gushed out and Julian fell to the ground. I threw a rock at it, but it was completely unfazed. Run! Julian coughed as blood poured out from his mouth. We turned tail and ran as fast as we could. The beast was screeching and clawing at the walls. It was getting closer, but we could see the entrance, and the daylight was peeking through the hole. I got there first, with Mike close behind. I scrambled out, tearing up my jacket on the sides in the process. Mike was halfway out when suddenly his eyes widened and he let out an ear-piercing scream. It's got me! It's got me! I grabbed his arm and tried to pull him out, but the monster was pulling back and it was not letting go. I used all my strength and he was still being pulled back in. Mike's face was filled with pure terror suddenly. I lost my grip and he slipped, pulled back into the darkness, screaming hysterically, and then silence. The kind of silence where you can hear your own heart. I turned and ran as fast as I could, never stopping to look back. The sun was starting to set, and I made it back to town just as night fell. Out of breath, I made it to the small police office. It was closed. I went to the officer's house and said, "You have to help me. Something has gotten my friends." The officer was not impressed. "It will have to wait until tomorrow. I don't do OT." In the morning, a small search party went up. We found no trace of my friends, nor nothing inside the mine. However, the whole time it felt like we were being watched by something. I was investigated, but with no evidence, I was never charged. Just remember to always be wary of the dark.